wise between Republicans and Democrats in the US on that massive debt ceiling in America. Now, the Commonwealth Bank, in breaking news, has just announced the appointment of a new chief executive to replace Ralph Norris. The ABC's business editor Peter Ryan joins me now from Sydney. Peter, who is it?
Well, Michael, good morning again. The new Chief Executive of the Commonwealth Bank is Ian Narev, someone who we haven't heard too much about, but he's been with the Commonwealth Bank since 2007, and more recently he's been the Group Executive of Business and Private Banking for the CBA, and he played a very big role in the acquisition of Bank West a few years ago, and also purchasing a third of Aussie Home Loans. And in the statement today, the Commonwealth Bank's chairman David Turner said that they were very impressed at the way that he was able to deliver double-digit revenue, profit growth and efficiency gains. So the man for the time, apparently.
Now, he replaces Ralph Norris, who, it's fair to say, Peter, would be one of Australia's more outspoken chief executives.
Well, that's right, and in the statement, Ralph Norris has been described by the CBA's chairman as an outstanding and fearless leader. And as you said, Michael, Ralph Norris was never backwards in coming forwards in maintaining his strong stance that banks needed to act independently, and he carried out this line during the global financial crisis, the lead-up and the aftermath. And as many viewers with a mortgage will recall, the Commonwealth Bank pretty much led the way a lot of the time with banks in raising interest rates over and above official movements by the Reserve Bank. And of course, on Melbourne Cup Day last year in November, the CBA came out and almost doubled the official increase by the Reserve Bank. That has made Ralph Norris not necessarily popular with any people who have mortgages, and certainly it created a bit of a clash with the government. But he is moving on, and his legacy, I think, could be summed up as ensuring that Australia's biggest home lender survived the global financial crisis.
And Ian Narev, finally, Peter, as with all the other bank chiefs, faces a fairly challenging time ahead. The housing market has slowed. The demand for mortgages, one of the key areas of profit for banks, has also slowed. So there is that profit challenge coming up too.
That's right. We are in a period of very slow profit growth, and the CBA is feeling that, but also the other banks have noted too in their more recent results that we are in a bit of a new normal because of consumers saving more than spending. But also, as we were saying earlier this morning, the debt problem in Europe is looming as the single biggest issue that banking chief executives will be having to navigate and manage over the next year or so, particularly if the second bailout for Greece doesn't work and there is contagion to Italy and Spain. And just a few weeks ago, Ralph Norris, when he was at the CEO's sleep out here in Sydney, we asked him what he thought the impact might be of a default, and he signalled that we might see a return to dislocated markets, which would see us go back to that period where there was a lot of fear and suspicion between banks, and banks too scared to lend to each other, not knowing what was on their balance sheet. So that's possibly the worst case scenario for Ian Narev, but he's coming in on a pretty good wicket, annual salary of $2.5 million, annual incentive of $2.5 million. There would obviously be stock included as well. Probably not as much as Ralph Norris, but then again, Ralph Norris, having been chief executive of the Commonwealth Bank since 2005, it goes out on what one would imagine to be a pretty healthy package.
Peter Ryan, thank you very much for bringing us the news this morning.